Viewers, this is a very, very important announcement that we're going to make today. Republic Media Network is proud to announce the Forces First Conclave, India's biggest military conclave, where the nation's finest minds in uniform and strategy come together on one platform. The Chief of the Army Staff, General Upendra Dwivedi, and PVSM and Ati Vishisht Seva Medal and Param Vishisht Seva Medal will deliver the keynote address at the Forces First Conclave. This is India's most high-profile and impactful military conclave and the biggest defense gathering post-Operation Sindoor. And with national and global attention now on India's evolving defense doctrine, the Forces First Conclave is set to be a landmark moment in military and strategic dialogue. Republic Media Network, in association with CLAWS, the Center for Land Warfare Studies, is proud to bring to you this historic event. The Forces First Conclave, Republic Media Network and CLAWS initiative, bringing together India's top military leadership, strategic thinkers and defense experts, all under one roof. The Chief of the Army Staff, General Upendra Dwivedi, will be at the Forces First Conclave only on Republic. It is India's most awaited event since Operation Sindoor. And I have with me Senior Executive Editor Abhishek Kapoor in the studios and Senior Editor Shravan Sen, who is joining us from the National Capital. Shravan, tell our viewers more about this first ever defense conclave that Republic is hosting, keeping the nation first, and as always, Republic keeping the forces first.
Well, in fact, we are proud to announce that in association with Center for Land and Warfare Studies, Republic TV's first flagship program of Republic Defense Summit is going to take place on 18th of October at Manekshaw Center. And we are extremely proud to announce the fact that in the backdrop of Operation Sindoor, for the first time ever, serving officers of the Indian Army as well as the Indian Navy will be addressing the gathering there. We have 8 international countries participating in the summit that's going to take place on 18th of October. A gamut of speakers, and as I've been mentioning, the highlight of the Forces First Conclave, the ethos of Republic TV out for everyone to witness. The very fact that for us, the philosophy of Forces First is embodied in every act of Republic TV, and that's exactly what is going to be on display on 18th of October, when you have a plethora of speakers, those who are within the system, those who understand the changing dynamic. And what we have is kept the theme, the umbrella theme of this year's, the first Forces First Conclave is living in the era of global conflicts. What is it that India has learned from these global conflicts? What is it that we can do better in order to deal with the changing times? So all of this encapsulated starting from 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's going to be a power-packed session all through the day till about 5 o'clock in the evening. We are going to release the names of those serving officers who are going to address. It's the Republic special address that's going to take place. At least 4 very, very interesting speakers are coming out. And for the first time, as I've been saying, since Operation Sindoor, 2 very senior officers whom perhaps the entire country did actually witness, saw them, addressing them during Operation Sindoor. For the first time ever, they are now going to come back on a platform of the Republic Media Network. This is the first media event that is being, they're participating in. So undoubtedly, we're extremely, extremely excited, and we're extremely proud to say that that we have been able to get them on the same platform. We, of course, do have ambassadors, diplomats who are also coming in, looking into several key issues. But here, as I've been mentioning out, that the biggest highlight is the coming together of some of the finest military minds on one single platform.
Right, Shravan. In fact, Abhishek, sticking to the theme, in fact, I think everybody today in the country, wants to know about what's going on in the, conflict-laden times in the country, outside the country. And India, the tri-services have come together And this has been an operation like never before in the history of the country. India has redefined this time its doctrine. It's been a doctrine shift for our armed forces this time. And this time on the Forces First Conclave, we are going to have that more of an insight, more of an inside view from those who actually led the operation.
Absolutely. All the officers, and I am keeping the T's secret still because it has to get an all clearance from Shravan. Remember, he's there on the ground. But, you know, when we say forces first, the reason why we say forces first is because for us, it's nation first at Republic. And for the forces also, it's nation first. Remember, when we are in festivities, the reason why we are going to have a peaceful and festive Diwali with our families is because there are soldiers, these sentinels who are at the vanguard, protecting us, making sure that we live and enjoy in peace. They are away from their families because for them it's nation first, and that is why in gratitude, Shravan and Rakshita, it's forces first for us. So that's the theme, that's the philosophy from where it's coming. And then, you know, Shravan, as I said, I promise, because the names, the big ones, apart from, of course, General Dwivedi, the Chief of Army Staff, you are going to give us, but just some names of the panel discussions, the topics, the themes in the broader Forces First concept that we are going to have conversations on. You know, it's such a broad sweep, Rakshita. By the time the day is over, day after tomorrow, at Sam Manekshaw Center, and we have gone through all those discussions and the conversations and the keynotes, all those watching from across the country would have their chests, they will have this feeling of chest puffed up with pride at the manner in which our defense forces are not just prepared for the present, but the way they are looking forward into the future and projecting how the warfare would be. Remember, Operation Sindoor was perhaps the first multi-domain tri-services war that India fought. The lessons that have been taken, remember General Gai, the DGMO, just day before yesterday he mentioned how even the Navy, even if you did not see them in action, were fully involved in planning. The manner in which our Air Force carried out the longest air-to-air kill in the world history of warfare at 300 kilometers and beyond, effectively making Pakistani Air Force ineffective, non-existent, once we decided that we have to really go after them. So I think these are just some of the teasers, but the panels, the subjects, Shravan, before I toss it back to you, India's place in the rapidly changing world order, Atmanirbhar Bharat, remember the indigenous component of India's air defense, for example. Brazil's vice president is in Israeli, in fact, as we speak, and we are already talking about selling them Akash. They are interested in buying the Akash air defense system. Special address on conflict in the Indo-Pacific and India as a preferred security partner. Cyber warfare, the invisible front line. Space warfare, the strategic high ground. Contours of a likely future conflict between India and Pakistan. Shravan, tossing it back to you now. Just tease some names so that the viewers know and anticipate who all would be gracing the occasion and sharing their mind from the armed forces. Most of them, perhaps many of them, serving officers who are there in the thick of things, who were there in the thick of things and know a thing or two about how we really decimated the Pakistanis.
Well, in fact, I'm going to reveal only this much, that if you remember the face of Operation Sindoor, when the entire nation waited with bated breath as to how exactly India carried out one of its finest military operation. Two of the senior-most officers coming out and addressing the nation. Now, we are fortunate enough to have them back with us, and they would be addressing the gathering there. And that's one that I could actually reveal at this point in time. As far as learning from the global conflicts are concerned, we do have the senior-most officials coming in, including one of the foremost strategic minds, Gen Manoj Pandey, the former chief of the army staff, who's going to be present there, and along with that, Air Chief Marshal R.K.S. Bhadoria, who's going to be part of the learning from the global conflicts. It's essential to point out here how exactly have we really, put this out together. What are the issues that really challenges India at this point in time? Multi-domain warfare becomes the other big issue that we would be discussing with some of the finest minds coming together. Those who have been seen as perhaps the best minds on these very subjects coming together for the first time on a television network. And, Abhishek, let me point this out, Abhishek and Rakshita. The effort that we have essentially made this time on Republic Media Network was to basically bring those minds whom you wouldn't have generally come across on any media network to begin with. And in today's time, when there is too many opinions doing the rounds, you wouldn't have really got people who really matter within the system really coming out and speaking. And that's exactly what we are doing. We are essentially trying to bring those whom you wouldn't have ordinarily been sitting in your drawing room and seeing them, because they are reticent, but they have decided that they are going to make their opening here at the Republic Media Network's Forces First in collaboration with Clause. So it is undoubtedly, as I would say, the best ever military platform that's being brought together. Never before in India have we essentially done an entire program which is only dedicated to the finest security minds in our country, those who are within the system, coming out and speaking about the challenges that India faces at this point in time. Of course, we are also looking at some very sensitive issues, particularly post-Operation Sindoor, and that's the final panel that we are bringing together, what we are calling Operation Sindoor New Normal.
Absolutely. Well, in fact, the countdown has begun, viewers, and some names already revealed by Shravan, and the names also right now at the bottom of your screens, viewers, and on our digital platforms, you can always scan the QR code for registration, as well as you would not want to miss that, viewers. This is the biggest defense conclave as we are making this very, very special announcement right now, and we will keep sharing all the updates on the Forces First Conclave. Many thanks, Shravan and Abhishek, for joining us on the broadcast with this very special announcement.